Okay, you are welcome again as we continue to study about smart money concepts. Today we'll be looking at pullback manipulations. What is pullback? We already know that this is just the way the market moves, up down movement of the market, right? Now, pullback happens in three different phases of the market, bullish trend, bearish trend, and then probably sideways market also. You see, market moves up down up down. There's manipulations everywhere in the markets. Okay, where manipulation can start and we can easily spot them is through what we call pullback. So we know that pullback can be, what are the uses of pullback? We can use it to identify valid inducements. We can also use it to identify correct order block. And lastly, we can also use it to identify valid smart money concept market structure. Okay, because when you have a valid inducement, valid order block, and then with this you can be able to get mark out your correct smart money concept market structure with this information you already have by having valid inducement, valid order block. And for you to get any of those, you need to be able to know which one is your proper pullback in the market using candlestick formations. Okay, so let's first of all look at what are the examples of valid pullbacks. By seeing this pattern alone, we know that this is a downward movement. This is a bearish market also. This thing also applies to bullish market. Okay, so this market is selling, this one is selling, this one is selling. So how do we know which one is our correct pullback? Let's assume we want to identify our inducement, and when we know that this is a valid pullback, our inducement point will be what? At this point. Okay, so the first point we are looking at is what we are looking at today for valid inducement. How can we identify valid inducement using the correct pullback? And we're going to look at pullback manipulations also to avoid selecting the pullback that is not correct for our inducement. Because if your inducement is not correct, then you want to form a market structure with that invalid inducement, you will see that you can be making a lot of mistakes. A lot of errors may happen and thereby losing money. So therefore, we have to pay attention to identify our valid pullback. Then with that, we can identify our valid inducement and then continue to work with that particular information. So let's analyze this candlesticks formation. We can see candle on this candlesticks. Then this is the first candlestick one. Take a look at candlestick one. When we look at candlestick one, what can we understand there? There's body of the candle, there's wick downward, there's wick upward. Okay, so what do? For us to know which is a valid pullback, since we are selling, since this market is downward movement, the up, which is the high point of the first candle that is making this pullback, that high point must be taken out by another candle. Okay, so the other candle that will take it out, whether with wick or with body closure, in this scenario this is with body closure, right? So candle 2 now take out candle 1 high point. So when candle 2 take out candle 1 high point, and then what happens is price begin to make all this type of other candlesticks, and then our last candlestick will take note of candle 3. What can candle 3 do for us? We want candle 3 to be able to break the low point of candle 1. Hope you get it. So candle 1, let's repeat again. When price is making this type of candle formation, candle 1 low point is here, candle 1 high point is here. So for us to know which is a valid pullback, we need candle 1 high point. The high point of candle 1, we want the next candle that will form to take it out, either close above it with candles body closure or with wick. It doesn't matter. We just want that high point to be taken out. So when the high point is taken out, what do we want next? The other candlestick that is forming, they are none of our concern. The other candlestick we want to take note of, candlestick 3. So candlestick 3 can be able to take out the low point of candle 1. Remember, the first time candle 1 high point was taken out, now we want price to come down and take out this time around candle 1 low point using candle 3. So, and this candlestick theory can do that with a wick or with body closure. In this two scenario, I'm using body closure. All right, so let's look at scenario 2 now. In this place, when price took this is candle 1, when we identify the valid pullback. Okay, this is candle 1, the low point, and then the high point. You can see in this scenario, candle 1, the low point was already taken out. The low point was taken out here, then the high point also was taken out. It doesn't matter. All we want is for the major point, which is the high point of candle 1, to be taken out. Then any other formation of candlesticks, they are not our concern. Our last concern now will not be candlestick theory. In this situation now, the low point of one that has been taken out before the high point was taken out, this candle 2 low points automatically will now become our new low point. So we want the candle 2 low point to be taken out by candle 3, whether with wick or with body. In this scenario, it is with body closure. All right, so if you take it out with wick, then what now happens? The scenario of everything now, this will now become, this high point will then become our what? Our valid inducement. This also high point here will become our what? Our valid inducement, because all the criteria for valid pullback has been met. Now let's now look at what we call invalid or manipulation of pullback. Invalid or manipulation of pullback. What can we notice here? When price is making downward movement, this is candle 1. Candle 1 low point, candle 1 high point. And what is our condition for having a valid pullback? Is candle 1 high point must be taken out with candle 2 candlestick. So there are some scenarios whereby candle 2 candlestick cannot do it, candle 3 cannot do it, the next candle cannot do it, the other ones cannot do it. But if another candlestick form above the high point of candle 1, that is very, very valid. But then we will not anticipate for price to do what? To come and give us candle 3 and close below candle 1, thereby making this high point here, making this high point what? A valid pullback, and then we can use it for what? Inducement. Okay, but that did not happen. What happened here was that price was just doing everything inside candlestick A. All these other candlesticks, yeah, these green ones, this candle 2, this candle 2, the one that follows it, the one that follows it, any one of them, they did not give us our desired result. They did not take out candle 1 high point, neither did they take out candle 2 low point. So it was just only candle 3 that took out candle 1 low point. So when price has done that, we cannot use this as our valid inducement. Why? Because candle 1 in this scenario is what we call engulf. This candle 1 now engulfs everything inside this place. Everything that is inside here, these other candlesticks, all these green candlesticks, you can see that candle 1 candlestick, the body of candle 1 candlestick just engulf everything. It just covers up everything. So the only situation we can say, okay, we can also consider this a valid pullback is only when candle 2 weak take out candle 1 low points before forming all these other candlesticks, and then we now anticipate candlestick 3 to take out the low point of candlestick 2. Are you getting it? Because once the low point of candle 1 is taken out, this candle 2 weak will now become our new low point. Then one price will take out just the high point of candle 2. Okay, it is the last candlestick weak that okay, this is the low point of candle 1, because that was the low point before price began to form this other candlestick in the upward direction, because market is making downward movement. You can see this is a downward movement in the market direction. But since candlestick weak, since candlestick 1 is the last candlestick selling before this other pullback buying, we want price to take out this candle, the high point of candlestick 1, but price did not do that. So all these other candlesticks are just formed without taking out either the low point or the high point of candlestick 1. They are not our concern. You can see, but when price is not selling, then candlestick 3 now take out the low point of candlestick 1. In as much our condition was not met, this is what we call an invalid pullback. So therefore, we cannot use this high point as our inducement. If you use this high point as your inducement, you can see that you are violating the rules of having a valid pullback. Okay, so all the informations that price is passing have to be valid and correct, otherwise we'll be making errors and then thereby losing money. So a lot of people will mark this point as a valid inducement, but no, that is not correct. This is invalid pullback. It is not a correct pullback, as I've explained. So I will encourage you to watch the video over and over again, understand it, and with that you can be able to make money. Practice more on the chart with this information. I wish you the best. Have a great time.